What's up, everyone? This week is going to be another week of Talking Nardcore, and we're going to go through the best Nardcore bands of the year 2000 through 2009. Didn't want to do a Hall of Fame because it's not 20 years old, but yeah, doing a Hall of Fame in my era is kind of awkward anyway, I think. But that's that. We're going to go through all these bands. We're going to talk about their discographies and their catalogs, and super fun. We have Mikey from Omega Point. He joined us, and it was super fun to have him around. He's an awesome dude and added a lot to the conversation. And so I hope you enjoy this episode. If you would like to support the podcast, please like, rate, and review wherever you listen to podcasts. Please share the podcast on social media or with your friends. Give your friends a call, give them a text. Let them know there's some podcast talking about hardcore, talking about some obscure ass shit that other people don't talk about. And yeah, also if you want to go the extra mile, maybe to 186 mile, which would be, I guess that takes you to National City, which is a sick part of San Diego. They got the Dunkin' Donuts. But you can go to patreon.com/185 miles south and become a Patreon. Become a personal hero of mine. And that's that. Much love and respect to all those people who helped me out. They are the reason the podcast is still going. And so let's all tip our hats to them. Now let's get on with the show.
"185 Miles South", a hardcore punk rock podcast.
All right. This week, we're doing another episode of Talking Nardcore, and that means it's me. And we also got Stu from Omega Point.
Hello.
We got the legend, episode 1, Joe Rivas. And we also got Mikey from... Hey. We also got Mikey from Omega Point.
Yo, what's good?
Say what up.
What up?
What we're going to do this week is we're going to talk the best Nardcore bands of the 2000s. And because I was a little more like in this era, I felt really uncomfortable Hall of Faming anything. So we're not doing any sort of Hall of Fame. We're just going to talk about some of the more standout bands, and we can dig into their discographies and whatever, and just talk about them a little bit. How y'all feel about that?
I think we need 20 years distance for Hall of Fame anyway, so that's...
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
It's appropriate.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So, you can throw 7 inch can go in because that was the year 2000.
Sure.
But
It's not going to make it, though.
yeah.
No.
Probably it shouldn't, dude. It shouldn't make it. Should we just jump right in?
Let's go. Yeah.
All right. The first band we're going to talk about is the Mighty Mighty No Motive. Jump in, Stu.
The record that I like most of theirs from this time period is Daylight Breaking.
Yeah, so we have Daylight and
Diagram.
Diagram. Yeah. And Daylight, I certainly prefer myself. It's Pat's out of the band at that time, so he's not playing drums.
It's their third record and the last record of like the initial run.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's really just Max, Jeremy, and Roger.
Roger's on drums at this time?
Roger's officially the drummer, but like they all played different stuff depending on what song they were doing. Like Audition Max is playing drums on that song. And
Max is.
On Audition.
Yeah, because Jeff came into the band like he did only a couple of little things on the record.
Yeah, after the record was all done, I think they went and did backups or something like that.
There's a music video that got put out with like Roger on drums and Jeff on bass. Is that
Yes.
Oh,
but that was
but that's
months
after.
Brand New Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on that record.
No.
No, is that
on the record before?
Oh, okay.
Brand New Day.
No, there's a video song off the third record.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
not Brand New Day though.
Oh, okay.
It's see here, look at us.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so the first time I ever heard No Motive, it's actually the first record I ever bought. And I think Kevin Herstein, who played drums for my first band, It Doesn't Matter, he brought a stack to Oxnard High School because he lived across the street from Fred Hammer. And he brought them, and they're selling these 7-inches for $3 or whatever. Guys.
Yeah.
Anyway. Jesus fucking Christ.
Sorry.
Anyway, so he brought the 7-inches and shit, and I bought one for $3, and I went home, and I knew Max was in the band. I didn't know anything else, and I'd known Max for years because we went to elementary school and junior high together. And I got home, I put it on my dad's record player, and this fucking thing was so fast, like ridiculously fast.
Yeah.
Like you check to make sure you have it on the right speed fast, you know. And obviously that was like a very early iteration of the band. By this time for the 2000s, they're doing their second LP and their third LP, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So the second LP is like their most poppy effort.
Yeah, I agree.
And they think that's kind of like the peak of the popularity, maybe, because they're like getting to tour with those similar bands, and they have like kind of that poppy sound.
Right, they're on Vagrant. They're getting a lot of push.
Yeah.
They're touring with all those Vagrant bands. Vagrant at that time was really, really big. You know, Dashboard, Confessional, and I call all that. You know, all that stuff that was happening. That
Yeah.
everyone was into at that time. Not everyone. I wasn't, but
Did you like any of the other Vagrant bands?
Face to Face.
Yeah.
Would you consider them a Vagrant band?
I don't know if they ever did anything on the label, did they?
They did.
Did like a live record or some shit?
Something maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was some good stuff. Save the
Alkaline-
Day.
Alkaline Trio.
Yeah, Alkaline Trio.
Yeah. But the third No Motive record is probably my favorite thing, other than like the first 7-inch and like the first split 7-inch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really pushing the boundaries, and it's interesting when you listen to it. Like me and Max, we worked together, and we were listening to their comp song for the upcoming thing that we haven't talked about yet, and he was just like, "Is this punk? Like, you know, how close is this to punk?" And it's weird because I've heard him speak about the third record that it's like moving further and further away from that. But when you listen to it, if you're familiar with No Motive, it just sounds like No Motive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
like they really just have their own sound at this point, where it's not
They
like
matured into it, and they stuck with that maturity.
yeah. I think that's a good way of putting it. Although that's such a weird way to say it, right? Oh, they're maturing.
I get. I mean, it
But
has
they
nothing
are,
to do with
right?
it. It's just like a
The sound is.
yeah.
They're finding their
flavor.
sound.
It's a
and
flavor.
They're pushing the boundaries a little more. I think that
Yeah.
you know they talk about with
Ugly chords.
UCs.
nice ugly chords, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, but the also in the 2000s, the EP, the Lola EP, and
Oh yeah.
the Winter Long as well.
yeah.
Which long was 2009?
Yeah, 2009.
So just other stuff. I'm just throwing that out there. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
should we address that? But yeah,
But the best is the third.
Into the Darkness is the song that they're
Darkness will
Yeah.
be away. We're
Yeah.
going into darkness. Great song.
Yeah. So catchy.
Yeah, but still heavy and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It's dark.
It is very dark. That's
dark.
the best. That's what I was thinking this whole time.
And Roger's production on that thing is on that record because he did the whole thing, and it's just phenomenal from start to finish.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Grey Notes Fall is a banger. It's a cliche
Yeah.
song. But
What is it?
Grey Notes Fall. The,
Oh yeah.
the Tell Me.
Yeah.
And life goes on.
Yeah.
Life goes on, dude. Now I just think of Verity.
Because
He did that stage dive.
Oh
during the acoustic parts.
yeah. Verity, why you crack your head to the pussy part?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
No Motive.
No Motive. I mean, you got to talk about them, and they're it's awesome that they like bridged in. Like deep halfway into the 2000s.
Yeah.
Before the first break, because you talked about Lola, but that's after they took a. No, Lola was on the first run.
Lola's
right?
between.
Winterlong is when they got back together.
That's
That's like way later.
Yeah, so their band is stretching from like 95 to 05, 06? Is when
I'd
they
say
do it?
06 the latest.
when
they-
06, yeah.
Okay. So that's a long run.
That's about when Roger moved to Irvine, so that was pretty much the end of it there. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
And then Winterlong is 09, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was another little run there.
Yeah, they played at Bombay's.
Yeah, that was sick.
I couldn't get in. I wasn't
Yeah,
old
it
enough to
was-
get in.
yeah.
You got Burning Dog played.
At Bombay's with no one?
Yeah. No?
I don't think so.
What is that on?
with,
When?
2009.
That was 2009.
Oh, for the
With
Winterlong release?
Yeah.
Where did they do that at? I can't remember. They did a Winterlong release. It was with the Whereabouts played, I think.
Yeah.
Bouts played, yeah. But
Yeah.
we didn't.
Could have sworn you did.
It was in Colorado, so they played. I got them to do a reunion in 2012 at my like the
I remember that.
the pre-wedding show at
Yeah.
Billy-O's?
at Billy
Oh, that
O's.
was just going to ask you when that was.
Yeah, that was 2012.
Was that with you? Was that with Burning Dog?
Burning Dog.
Then that was the flyer that I
because everybody was in town.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
my wedding. So the next day. So yeah,
Sweet. Okay. Well, sick.
yeah, no motive.
Oh,
So
yeah.
good.
Crossing over the decades from the 90s to the 2000s and knocking it out of the fucking park both decades.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. And jumping a decade and now releasing this new record.
Yeah, we'll get into it. We'll do an episode on
Or
it.
not new record, but yeah.
New stuff.
Things are.
I'm talking the 7-inch that they released.
Things are happening.
Last October.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah. We can talk about that. So
Yeah.
they just got back together and did a couple reunion shows, and also they re-released the Sadness Prevails
Their first
with
record.
with new. It's a new mix and a new master.
Yeah.
And updated artwork too. It's the same artwork, but it's just different colors.
Yeah, and there's a little bonus 7-inch that came with it. So
Yeah.
The acoustic
that's the new
songs.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
super cool. All right, what do we got next?
We got Retaliate.
The goat. We can just leave it at that and move on. How about that? We just did a big Retaliate episode, so I feel like it's been hashed out.
Yeah. Sick band.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Not by us.
But not what did you say? Not by us.
We didn't hash it out.
Oh yeah, you guys didn't hash it out. Well, no,
Me
Stu
and
was
Mikey
there.
had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll let you.
Let's
and
talk
Mikey
about your
go.
guys' memories of Retaliate.
I remember Zach giving me a demo. He's like, "This is my new band."
Let's do it or whatever.
Get around to it, just give it a spin.
No, because I met up with Zach and I gave you records or something. Like that 88 Fingers Louie 10-inch or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you gave me the demo.
The Holy Grail.
Ah.
Yeah. Like, this is my new band because I asked you what's going on with In Control and this is you were a limbo.
We recorded the demo where your current rehearsal space is.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, right.
What spot is that?
I don't know what it's called. We're at our trust rehearses.
Where, yeah, it's Rick Hunter's place. There's a whole bunch of rooms over there. But Armand had a recording studio downstairs, and Roger had one upstairs. So
I got into hardcore around MySpace days, so like
Yeah.
I was just like making mixes,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, I grabbed the demo. So I got into that stuff like 2005, 2006. So it had already been kind of dated in a sense.
Yeah.
But you guys started playing shows again right when I started getting into hardcore, and
Man, you timed that shit properly.
yeah. I just got into it like full swing of things, but yeah. So the demo was definitely being played loudly, and then Coupe de Top dropped.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I was really disappointed when you took out "This One's for You," Oxnard out of song number 4, dude.
Oh yeah, but you guys stole it and put it on your new 7-inch.
No. You're talking about the Born to Lose ending. I'm talking about the when you guys did like that was my favorite part as a kid. And
this is for you, Oxnard. Well, I did is because I did something different on song number 10. I was like, to my Oxnard.
Oh yeah.
So speaking of that, every record, every LP you guys have dropped, the final song has always been the banger to me. Yeah. And I've noticed a trend, and that shit's tight. And I can't wait for LP4, man.
It's coming out, and just wait, dude. Like, I hate sincere core, but I hit hard on that sincere core shit on the last song on this record.
Yeah.
So, because like it's super sincere core. The last song on Thorns too. You know.
Dude, I was telling Verity that like when I first heard that, I was like, "This is it, dude. They're packing it up. Like it's done, dude. Like they're not like this is their last record." And it had those vibes for sure. But
you never know when you're gonna get hit by a bus. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You gotta make every record like it's your last.
I think the first time I saw you guys was Skate Street.
That would be most likely.
And there was chain link fence outside.
Okay.
You remember that?
Because it must have been the Sound and Fury. I think so. They were trying to not have ins and outs, so they built like fencing outside so people could go outside
smoking.
Yeah, that was like the Alpine vibes.
I actually have the sign from Alpine that says absolutely no ins and outs.
And I think that was my first show back from because I had lived in Texas for that year, the year before that. So it was my first show back, and I ran into Todd somewhere, and he said to come to the show. I'm like, okay, what's going on? I don't even know. It's
punk rock, dude.
I show up, and it's like fucking 10 million kids. I'm
like,
I'm so proud.
Yeah, well, Todd was booking most of the shows at that time. So
there's an pretty iconic photo of I don't know if you know T-Zoc, dude from Oxnard. He was like on crutches and he broke his nose during a Retaliate set. And Fred Hammer took a picture and his nose. He's like retracting back, and there's just like blood everywhere. And
his crutches are in the air. It's so good.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was used on a flyer later. It's like a really cool fucking picture.
That rules.
Yeah. All right, who's next?
I just want to say, Retaliate new record this year is coming. We're done with drums.
2020.
Shout out to Manowar.
Yeah, by the time this is done, by the time this comes out, we'll be done with everything. So that shit'll be at the plant. So get ready. Send in your pre-orders to Indecision.
Insert sample here.
Oh, dude.
What? What's the Manowar?
Because I was jacking you in the text.
Yeah.
The song. Well, what's the song?
The intro.
Oh, word.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, moving on from Retaliate. Can we skip this one and come back to it just so I'm getting embarrassed?
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right, so let's go on to Missing 23rd.
Missing 23rd.
Seems like yesterday. Talking in bed, just one more shake. It's 3 a.m. Gotta get work at 8. And it never seemed late. Out at night, searching for UFOs. And all the shows. And all the times we played.
And so again, like talking about how No Motive was like the shit in the 90s, Missing 23rd very similar, like very popular out the gate. The demo fucking is close to you can get to perfect on a demo of doing like, the fast DC type hardcore, but then also being insanely catchy.
Yeah.
Being able to hit on, subjects that feel like they can almost be also ran. And just been treaded over so much, but like just having a hot, catchy take on it, like
I was just gonna say that,
like if you're a band and you can come out with a banging anti-racist song, fucking do it. Like there's not enough of them. Like almost every band should have one. Every band should have a unity song. Every band should have a fucking anti-racist song. Like these are the things we can all agree on, right? So.
Tony said once that I'll stop writing unity songs when we're actually unified. So
there you go.
Good.
That's a great line.
Yeah,
that's a great line. So, but the Missing 23rd, and the first LP is actually in the 90s, correct? It's like 99.
Yeah.
Okay, so them being able to like kind of transition through and going into the 2000s and doing it strong.
They went a little more melodic, I think.
A little more melodic, but still like they never lose the speed.
No, they don't.
No,
they never lose.
Just go like.
So they had some member changes
yes,
and stuff.
Of course.
on both, all three of the main records. The demos aside, okay, so all three main records, there's different members in each. Obviously, John and Mike are the constant.
Yeah.
Woodgrain.
Ray and Porcel. You still got the two dudes.
Yeah. And then...
And they're adding bangers. They're adding like...
the first record is Nick and Mike Gleason playing drums, and Nick from...
the Little Town.
King City.
Yes.
Shout out.
And then...
Shout out to getting
Shout out
tickets.
King City Hardcore.
I always get fucking tickets there.
And then...
It is a giant speech out.
Then little Matt joins from Peter Pan's Army.
Oh, he was in Peter Pan's Army?
He was in
I did not know that.
Yeah. Playing bass at first.
I just remember him playing bass the whole time, no?
Yeah, he played bass at
official.
first. And it was him and then Woody and then Mike Carter on the last record
That's right.
was playing bass.
That's right.
And then Matt was playing guitar and then Mike
That's right.
was playing guitar as well. And then Mike left the band too. There was a little...
Anyway, you
a
just
little intern
tune into the John Carrara podcast for that one.
Yeah.
It's like episode 8.
Yeah,
Is it
something
8
like
or
that.
3?
It's not 3.
It's in the top 10.
Yeah, it's in the first 10.
First 10.
For all the lineup stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as sound, like we're saying, they're maturing, but they're not
Yeah.
losing any sort of aggression.
No,
They lost
not
nothing,
At all,
no.
not at all.
And it's
Still
just-
punch. Still so much energy. John always delivers that hype.
Yeah, and just the lyrics you could kind of like reach out and touch. Like he makes them simple and like relatable.
Yeah,
Like, let's go to the show.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, let's go.
They wrote a
That
song
sounds
about
fun.
a street that I grew up on.
Struby?
And,
You grew up on Struby?
yeah, my grandmother lived on Struby. My family's from El Rio, California, so very
Shout
close to my
out.
heart. So when I was young and I heard Struby Street, it was like
Yeah.
That
it
rules.
hit
Yeah.
me. It was tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the bass player. I don't know. You know the story then already.
Yeah, I know there's some
tell the
context
story,
there.
Joe, for the
Yeah,
people.
there's some
Okay,
context.
so the bass player for Dick Circus, Martin, lived on Struby, and John lived with Martin, and they practiced in the back. And then eventually, No Motive practiced there. Quality of Life.
Repeater.
Repeater.
Repeater 800 practiced there, and Bernie Dog practiced there as well. And they had this super fat dog named Skinny.
Okay.
I just remember that. But anyway, yeah. So that's Struby Street. So
Yeah,
it was a song John. Basically, a love song to his.
For sure, yeah.
his-
No, it's
his-
like
yeah.
it's like an ode
his
to
old
that
buddy.
time for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Not specifically to Martin, but encompassing that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the color that only episode 1 can fucking
Yeah.
bring you, huh?
And I could be wrong about a
paints
little
that
bit of
picture.
that, but that's pretty much what.
The dog might have not been called Skinny. But everything
No,
else.
no, the dog was definitely Skinny. She was like a lab German Shepherd mix. She was a sweet dog.
That's cool.
She was fat.
Yeah, and then also, I think worth noting is the second LP was also on Sessions Records, which is
The first one was too.
no,
No,
the
that was
first
on
one,
Mankind.
The first one is on Mankind, which yeah, Igby doesn't do Mankind anymore, right? It's a different
It's
name.
whatever it is.
It's
Yeah,
because it's because he just did the Repute demos again.
Yeah.
And he's changed. He's gone through. Because didn't he used to do Ammunition as well?
Yes.
Yeah, so he goes through iterations of changing his label name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's an interesting thing that maybe we should talk about on another podcast. But like choosing labels and then having like the label go away,
Yeah.
that's like a weird thing because like you can't really find this record anymore.
Yeah.
Because Sessions is a label that didn't like stick around. They were, I don't know,
There's a clothing company.
the clothing company. Yeah, so they were
Skates.
Skateboard, snowboarding.
Yeah, and so Missy went there. They were afforded a lot of opportunities by
Yeah.
going there. Like they were able to go to Japan and so forth, and
Right,
go
right.
do like these
Europe.
cool, like extreme sport hype things.
Yeah.
The Warped Tour style.
Yeah, like
Shows.
some of that stuff. But it just is the interesting thing about like these labels that come and go, and losing the material
Yeah.
is weird.
Yeah.
Is it's obviously then not on Spotify or anything, right?
No, I checked. It's not there.
So then it's
Honestly,
just
I
like
don't
an
know.
almost lost record.
There's like random shit on.
That's
like,
my favorite record too,
on
which
YouTube.
sucks of theirs.
Like
I like
rips
it.
of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about. So
It's
Yeah.
out there though. I mean, people have got it. File sharing and doing
Yeah.
all that stuff, and anybody that wants it's getting it. But yeah, we need to figure out how to get them to repress all that stuff, including the last record too, which was only on CD.
oh, I don't even know.
Yeah.
The
They
end of an
basically-
era.
Yeah.
Really? No, I think that was on vinyl too.
No, it wasn't.
No?
Because I would have had it
Yeah, I don't think so.
for sure.
Okay.
When John listens to this in a month, he'll be like, dude. Sorry, John.
So yeah, Missing 23rd again, like No Motive, spanning through the '90s into the 2000s, knocking out of the park. Also, like turning into like a legendary band of the area and having like big sing-alongs, big
For
like
sure.
hit songs. You know, like Struggle,
Yes.
Oh, dude,
which came out of like a time when they were like broken up, right? And it's a Skeptics song,
The Skeptics,
Yeah.
yeah.
which is like the band after Repeater goes
Yeah.
to Skeptics, and then they take that. So they end up having like big tentpole songs,
I think Hate was another song too.
but off the demo. So yeah, the first 4 demo songs.
There's a video of them playing like a Nardcore
What?
show at
Oh, the Alpine,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
reunion.
And like there's
Dude.
a circle pit where people are like skipping circle because they're playing Struggle, which is a slower tempo.
Yeah.
And the sing along is just like shaking the room.
Yeah, it is
is
amazing,
So
dude.
sick.
Like
Yeah.
balcony shot, like
Yeah.
biggest circle pit you've ever seen.
At the Alpine.
That
It was
rules.
Amazing.
Dope.
Yeah,
sick.
I was chuckling because I remembered they had the Control Your Life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, so the song, which is off the first record and in the demos and stuff too, but the Atascadero Kids, which was eventually Ryan.
Carry On,
Carry On.
Ryan George.
Like they all had a Macarena dance that they would all do when Mrs. 23rd would play that. I just remember, and Ryan was one of those kids. that
Yeah.
would do
That's
that.
funny.
That's so cool.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else on the 23rd?
Yeah.
Well,
we
that's
might-
another one. You know, with them going in, they played like the Numbskull circuit, so they did
Yeah.
connect with like those kids.
Yeah.
Like if you're a kid from a Tuscadero and you're going to shows in San Luis Obispo,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Missing 23rd is one of the best bands you're going to see.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. They had a connect up there too because Mike's grandma lived in Slow, so they had a place to stay always.
Cool.
So it was a lot easier for them to travel up there and just stay the night and then drive back the next day.
That the Fury 66 guy?
No. Mike. Woody.
Oh, Woody. Oh, okay.
His grandma lived in
Drummond.
San Luis Obispo. Yeah. Mike Drummond, yeah. I always forget. I haven't called him by his real last name in 20 years, so
Shit.
Woody. So, yeah, that's it. All right.
Cool. That's Missing 23rd.
Sick.
23rd.
Legendary 2000s band out of
Deuce
Oxnard.
Trace.
Oh, yeah.
Hardcore. Did they ever share members with the Glass and Ashes guy, or was
Yes.
that just the bass
That's
player?
what I was going to say. Yeah.
The bass player dude?
Just Mike Carter, yeah.
Okay. So, Joe, you can discuss Glass and Ashes. I will say, any album cover with a shark on it is sick.
Yeah.
And it's good shark art.
So
Shout
they
out to Shark
recorded,
Art, dude.
they recorded that with Armand at
His previous.
the previous place where
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I can't remember what he used to be called, but
Yeah.
Armand of Night Demon, who
Yeah.
does Captain's Quarters now.
Yeah. They recorded it there. It's basically all stars from a bunch of other Ventura bands, and then Mike Carter. Although, I guess technically he's from a Ventura band since he was in Missing 23rd, but he came from somewhere else.
Who'd they have from Exxon 83?
It's on 83. I don't think anybody.
Oh, well, then
So I guess it's
you
not
said
All
All Star
Stars.
Ventura.
Yeah, so it's Mike Gleason. It's Mike Gleason, who's the original drummer, Missing 23rd. And then Peter Pan's Army later, when him and Victor switched from Missing 23rd to Peter Pan's Army. Both of them switched. Dave Hall is in 3 Point Play, your favorite. And then Jesse, who I'm waiting for confirmation, but I'm pretty sure Jesse was in Rainfall as well. Your other favorite, so.
Don't knock me for not liking 4-minute songs, dude. Like, if you can't solo like Maiden, then don't have a 4-minute song. That's all.
So yeah, and they were a super great band. They were on No Idea. They had for this area a very original sound. Nobody sounded like that.
Yeah.
You know, I know there's a lot of bands that do have that feel and sound to them, but not here.
It's a mid-tempo, up-tempo,
Yeah.
rockin'
Up-tempo,
sound, right?
like rock and rolly, like
with that-
hot water music kind of vibe.
hot
from
water
it.
ish. Yeah. Hence No Ideas, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
And they put out 2 LPs.
2 LPs. Yeah.
Both on No Idea.
Yeah, they did a lot of touring. They did a lot of, And then they've gone on to 20,000 other bands too, but we don't need to get into them because,
Yeah. Stop Breathing.
yeah.
Young Livers, how are they related?
Both Dave and Mike were
Okay.
in both bands, but that band was out of Gainesville because they all moved to Gainesville, and then Dave and Mike moved out there to join a band with 2 other Gainesville guys already.
Yeah.
Because that's where No Idea is located, right?
Yeah.
And the
I
Fest.
think the
and
label
the
is out of
Fest.
there, but certainly the Fest, and that's where Hot Water is
Gainesville's
from,
from.
and all that too. So
There's a lot of good bands on No Idea. Actually, like a lot of bands off that label.
Yeah, like that first like compilation of all the early Dillinger 4 stuff is on there.
yeah,
Sick.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a good record.
Yeah, so good. So good.
yeah.
I love the band name,
Yeah.
Glass and
Yeah.
Ashes. I think it's a good band name.
It's cool.
And fucking Sick Sharks, dude.
Yeah.
What kind of shows was this band playing? I never saw them.
Yeah, they were. I mean, Missing 23rd, they play with them, or basically anything like that.
Fucking Wrath, probably.
That's a little bit later, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember exactly now because I didn't pull up flyers or anything. So,
Yeah.
Give Steel Project.
hey,
Great,
why don't
great.
we take a break?
Sure.
Real quick.
Okay.
And we can.
Sure. All right. You wanna? What's the next band?
We are going to get into The Last Priority.
Hi, my name's Bernie, and
I stopped playing babbling drunk. I'm an alcoholic. And I grew up like a jug. I'm an alcoholic.
All right. Who wants to hit it?
Oxnard Street Punk. I'll hit it.
Do it.
I never saw this band a lot. Ex Malcolm X played with them a few times. But they're really important. Their self-titled record is good the whole way through. If you're into that street punk stuff, I love that stuff. Sounds like the Casualties. The opening track off that thing is Alcoholic.
If you want to drink beer and slam, it doesn't get any better.
So, yeah, with
I
your
was-
homie.
I was
on your-
telling Stu that he sent me the Dropbox of the LP, and I listened to it, and I was realizing that it's one of those bands that I've seen enough times that I knew them. I knew their stuff by seeing them live, and I actually was like, I don't think I've ever listened to a recording besides like MySpace single tracks.
Damn, you saw them a lot of times.
Yeah. They were the first like legit punk show I ever went to at the Underground, and I remember not only being blown away by like them, but like just kind of going to like a club and just being like, this is fucking kind of crazy.
The Underground, the Ventura one across from the mall,
The
right?
mall, yeah,
Yeah, not the Santa
Telegraph.
Barbara one.
Yeah, so that was the venue at the time when I kind of first got started, like my introduction shows, and then Alpine kind of broke open.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a fight that was about to break out, and the Underground was like, "Yo, not here at this Last Priority show." And so all the punks just literally walked to the mall, and and the fight happened there. And I was like, "Yo, these fools are punk as fuck, but like respect the venue. That's fucking tight." It was cool.
That's sick.
Damn.
That's sick.
Yeah, I went to one show there. I think it was Last Priority. So
It was cool, man.
that's
That
the only
place.
show that I went to.
that place was really cool.
Next to the Goodwill, or was the Goodwill, or
It's right by a thrift store. It used to be the Goodwill.
Yeah.
It's like that brick building.
yeah.
You didn't go to Warriors Retaliate?
No.
That
Comeback
was,
show. We
that
opened
was
with a Slayer intro.
crazy fucking show.
This is the one time we opened with a Slayer intro and Joe wasn't there. What the fuck?
What intro?
Off seasons.
Didn't you do that at the VFW market, the Ventura VFW?
I don't think so. No. I don't. Maybe. I doubt it though, because the only time we played there, like we played like a 5-song set, because that was the In Control reunion.
Oh, it was that CV. That's right.
Yeah. So we kept it really short that night.
Okay.
So, yeah, last priority. We should also say this is Josh Stamps' main band, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So, Nardcore legend. And so it's really his.
Yeah, him too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So,
Yeah.
that's it. With the song, they started out, it's called Alcoholic.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Did the drummer play on a keg?
No, he should have though. But it has that. The track ends with like the
Spikes on
classic
it.
dude throwing up in the toilet, and then someone yells, "Learn how to hold your fucking liquor."
Did they have a song called Belligerent?
Did they?
No, I don't know.
No.
I don't know. They should.
It should be thrown in. We're talking about Oxnard's street punk, Dysfunctional Chaos, and James and the fucking Mexicans.
Yeah, James and Mexicans. I feel like the last priority brought that whole street punk scene back into Oxnard, and a bunch of bands popped up because that, like you said, like Waste Brigade, Last Priority, James and Mexicans. They were huge.
James and Mexicans have a song called "Boot Boy Stick Together," which is arguably the best Oi song to come out of 05.
It's a great fucking
So this is circa 2005?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's like 2005, 2006. I saw James and the Mexicans downstairs Alpine, maybe 07, and they were coming out of a hiatus.
Okay.
And then that was like the Alpine riot thing where some shit happened.
That was the quotations last punk show at Alpine.
Yeah, Alpine. That was kind of like Alpine's like, we're done with the punks because.
What happened?
So
What'd you do?
James and the Mexicans. James and the Mexicans.
Were you one of the Mexicans?
Yeah, I'm a half white dude. Don't trip. James and the Mexicans
you're
played
involved
their
in the riot.
set, and the Assault played too, which I don't know if you're familiar with the Assault, but they're like
That Benji played. He was in that band.
Yeah.
Benji and Ben from
Punk
Railer.
Cool.
and so they played. Dysfunctional Chaos played, and James and Mexicans played, and they played Boot Boy Stick Together twice because it's that good.
Sick.
And then they at the second time during their encore, they were playing it the second time, and a notable punk from the 805 scene, Oxnard, kind of like stepped up to some out of towners and was singing the song to their face. And downstairs Alpine is very spacious, and it wasn't really packed in. So and it was also, they played the same song twice to end it, so people started leaving. And then it kind of migrated outside in front of the door / the smoking area. And security guards like Booney John and Josh Mosh were like Batman. They were kind of like keeping that shit separated. And nothing was going to happen. But then this random girl walked up and was like, "Yo, who hit my cousin? Who the fuck hit my cousin?"
Of course.
And I was just like, me.
Every fucking fight in the city starts.
And me just being like fully out of context and like not part of the situation. Fully, I was like, "Hey, yo, like that's the girl that hit your cousin right there." And so she like walked over there nonchalantly, like just like because no one's gonna think she's gonna do anything, and walks up to this girl, and like it gets super quiet. She's like, "Yo, what's up, bitch?" And just like starts hitting her, and then the security guards go for that fight, and then all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
And
Josh broke his ribs at that show.
yeah, he got stomped out. Sorry,
Yeah.
Josh.
I remember I couldn't go. That was a weekday show. I couldn't go because I had school the next
That was
day.
pretty crazy. Like they called the cops and everything kind of dispersed. And by the end, it wasn't even, they weren't fighting anyone. It was just kind of like they were fighting the security guards, and it got kind of gnarly. But yeah, crazy show. James and Mexicans. Dope band.
Did they put out a record?
I want to say now it's on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube.
A few little tracks.
But
Is that like a demo, you think? Like a
is it-
CDR demo?
They had a CDR demo, but then I had a response to me posting about it on Instagram, and our homie Chubbs was like, "What do you know about this?" And he like zoomed in on some photo of it, what looked like a 7-inch cover. So I was like, "Oh,
yeah, I think I'm going to see Chubbs on Sunday, so I got to ask about that. But yeah.
shout out to Chubbs."
I was trying to Google it, and it was just sending me somewhere else. Like there's some other band and the Mexicans.
Jaime and the Mexicans.
Maybe. It was something. It
It's
was
such a good band name.
no. It was
Yeah.
just. It was just something. It was like something pretty famous.
Yeah.
And so it kept like jacking the Google search, and
They were sick.
I wasn't searching that hard. I wasn't gonna
Yeah.
parentheses shit.
Yeah.
all that. I was like,
Nah,
this is a
Boot-
casual Google search.
Boot Boys Stick Together is
Oi.
top tier
Oi.
Oi song, dude. It's
Yeah,
just
that song
fucking
was great.
Yeah.
Well, sick.
And Pogo, fucking Pogo on my lawn.
Yeah.
That song is so. This one goes out to the guy who fucking did. Fuck you, Pogo. Yeah, that song.
Catchy songs.
Catchy. Well, I wanted to bring in like more of that punk shit, like in like post 2005, like bands like Terrorist Attack. I feel like Terrorist Attack was the last Ventura Krusty band,
Yeah.
which was a very prevalent scene in the 90s.
Were they better than X on 83?
They were good. They were a 2-singer band, and one of
Yeah.
the singers had dreadlocks, and they fucking ripped. It was like Mario and Shorty with a 40.
Yeah, they were fronted by a guy named Mario and another guy named Shorty with the 40.
Yeah.
And their guitarist was a guy named Jubs.
Jubs.
Fucking tight.
What if he caught that food drinking a fucking 22?
He's kicked out of his own name.
There's
22, either a 32 or a 20 ounce.
there's
22.
There's a notorious video on the internet somewhere from the 2010s. And,
I really wish that this show happened a year earlier.
Yeah, but Shorty with the 40 falls out of a ceiling at a house that was fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
During a show.
It was probably you guys talk about that garage show, the Pico House garage show.
Yeah.
This is like
The equivalent
that
for
show
us.
For, you
for
guys,
us.
yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
But it was 2010, so we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Next time.
Kind of did.
Move on.
Next time. Kind of did. Kind of line stepping over there, Stu.
My bad.
Cool. You want to move on to the fucking Wrath?
The fucking Wrath.
We have one of their flyers right here.
Yeah.
From the
Ceremony, Hope Conspiracy, The Fucking Wrath, Pressure, Force Forward, Poacher. No idea.
Cool. So we've established they played a show. How does anyone feel about the band?
So the band is John C. from a singer from Missing 23rd's first attempt at playing drums again after a long time since Dick Circus. So,
Yeah, he said the catalyst of the band is they're living in a apartment complex in Montalvo.
Yeah.
And him and Craig, they're smoking weed all the time.
yeah,
It sounds like that.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's that slow, dirgy, heavy,
Rocky vibes.
Fast. When it's fast, it's like Motorhead and Amoebics.
yeah.
And like hints of tragedy.
Yeah.
And like Down. I don't know if you guys ever listen to that band. It's like I think it's like a spawn off of like Crowbar or something. They're like a New Orleans.
Yeah, it's the Pantera guy's other band.
Is it
It's
okay?
the singer of Pantera's
Yeah.
other band.
I unfortunately never really saw. I saw this band once at Salzer's. They played in the parking lot. That was really cool. That was really fun. But
I saw them a bunch. They were great. They're always good.
They put out a couple records on TP Records, which is the same label that Annihilation Time is on. Yeah. So another tie-in.
Yeah.
Is that based out of 805?
No, I don't know where it is.
that sounds so familiar. I think they put out that Shattered Badge record too.
I don't know about that. I will go off to Discogs in terrible radio, but keep going about the rest.
It was a good band. And Nick is a great bass player and later played in Dr. No for a little bit, the reunion Kyle Dr. No. Yeah.
No,
I don't know what
he
to
was
say.
singing "Is Burning Tree." Did the Shattered Badge? That's
That's
dude from Rainbow, Jerome.
Drums, yeah.
Yeah, who also helped with the Nardcore 30 Years Later comp.
Oh shit!
Yeah, yeah. Let's look at that Burning Tree catalog because that was number 14. He did a lot of bands.
He did.
He did a lot of stuff. He did the Bad Samaritan stuff. That's all CD. And Last Priority, CD only. America's Hijacked.
Yeah, that was their last record.
That's on the same label. And he did a Stop Breathing record. 2015.
That bombs
Stop
away.
Breathing 5. I think. Roman numeral 5. And, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, not TP, Burning Tree. But it rhymes.
It does.
TP, yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Holier Than Thou.
Okay, I think this is one of the most underrated bands of the early 2000s. It's, I don't know everyone in the band, but I know Jeff Capra played guitar, and he was in a lot of the seminal, or he was at least in...
Manumission.
Yeah, he was in, some of the Abolition bands in the 90s, the more emotional. And so this was...
Capra was?
Yeah, so this is, wild that he comes out just fucking... thrashing with speed picking and fucking the singer was a fucking maniac. I don't know who he was. Yeah. He had some fucking line that we used to always laugh about. It's but anyway, whatever the fuck ever, I can't remember. But this is also Noel playing drums, who he did this in his time in Life's Halt may have crossed over because he was the third drummer of Life's Halt, and then he still plays with Then he did Annihilation Time, and then still in Lecherous Gaze, I believe. So, but this is Noel really young, and the funny story is, the bass player of Holier Than Thou was actually Noel's math teacher in high school.
Oh shit!
So that was how young Noel was. I don't know if he was he might have even still been in high school. The dude might have been his teacher at the time.
That's wild. That's
I think
sick.
so. I think that is the case. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they were wild, and I loved them so much. And it was when I was booking a fair amount of shows, and a lot of shows at Pat's Warehouse. And I was always I fucking hate a long show, so I was only doing 4-band shows ever. And a lot of times at the time, it was before the big package tours, so 2 bands would come from wherever, just 2 bands touring together. And so if they don't draw that good, what you want to do is you want to put them with a local headliner and a local opener, so they don't have to open the show, and then a local band can draw some kids, bring some eyes on them, so forth.
Yeah.
And I used to have Holding On open, have them open almost everything because they were the band I wanted to see more than any other band. And so always at Ojai and Pat's, and they just fucking never showed up on time. So I finally had to stop booking them. Yeah. But notoriously late. But Shredding, the first 7-inch and the LP Hating the Guts is fucking awesome. And they actually did later stuff as
the
well.
barbecue.
Yeah. They did the barbecue record, and then they did another one that I found. I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
But that came out 2009 or 10 or something.
It came out later,
Yeah.
significantly. High on Barbecue, I believe.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, and then there was another one that came out later, and it was just what the fuck? So always shredding, always awesome.
Yeah.
Fast, short songs.
Fast, short songs, and a singer that matched the intensity in his rhythm patterns. He matched Capra's guitar playing in his vocal rhythm
Yeah.
patterns.
Yeah. So my recollection is Todd was in the band at a time. Todd Jones.
I don't remember that at all.
Played guitar, and then he wasn't going to play guitar anymore. So Jeff asked me to come play guitar. So I practiced with them a couple times.
When would that have
I'm
been?
going to say 2003.
So after the first LP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe even before it. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it was just too much of a hassle to get to Santa Barbara all the time.
Did they get you high on barbecue at least?
No. But
He's clean, dude.
Jeff may have played differently, but he grew up with Bomber and Chris. Well, not grew up, but he was really good friends with Bomber. In Chris Rest, and that's where that guitar playing comes from. I think
Oh, okay, agree.
Yeah, so High on Barbecue actually comes out. I got it up now. The 7-inch, the self-titled 7-inch is on 6 weeks. That's 2001. Hating of the Guts, the LP comes out in 6 weeks, same year. Then you have High on Barbecue comes out in 03, but it's a 5 or 6 song one-sided 12-inch. So it's not a lot of music, and one of them's a Motorhead cover.
Oh.
And so that's 03. They also do another 7-inch, We Come in Peace and Leave in Peace, the same year in 03. And then
Jeff's such a prolific writer. He writes nonstop writing music.
And then in 2013, way later,
that's fucking late.
You can't have Slaughter without laughter. So also in
But
6 weeks.
Is that new stuff or is that like demo stuff or something?
Yeah.
It says recorded in the summer of 05.
Ooh.
Okay, there you go.
So
what a great record title.
Yeah.
I like that.
I know. I was like, you can't.
You know what?
You really can't have Slaughter without laughter.
Yeah, Capra.
It's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah, he shreds.
Capra still shreds, and
Railer, dude.
Railer's sick. Blast Concept, R.I.P. But if you hang out with Capra and you hang out with him long enough and you get him telling stories, he has a lot of cool stories. He's been around for a long time, and he's told me about seeing Misfits play at a park and some shit, like OG lineup. Like, yeah, super cool.
That rules.
That's awesome.
Capra's awesome. We'll get him on at some point.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah.
So
Sick.
who's next? Slayer?
Sick.
Who is next?
Slayer is next.
Annihilation Time.
Just
Keep
jump
going.
right in.
Just jump right into it.
I wanted
It's a good.
I wanted to toss this one on there. First LP. So this band actually was kind of like, it came together actually on like the first In Control tour, I believe. We went in the year 2001 with Fields of Fire on a full U.S. tour, and Fred went on. He went along as the roadie for Fields of Fire, and he obviously made good friends with all the guys, and so Annihilation Time kind of started as a side project of Fields of Fire with Fred singing, and Graham at the time he was playing drums for Fields of Fire, and he's an okay drummer, but he is like the ultimate guitar shredder. And at the time he was like full on this like blast worship kick. And so this was kind of like he was able to see his vision like coming out from behind the kit to playing guitar. And then anyone that knows Fred knows that Fred is also a blast worshiper. Yeah, totally. So the two together working really good. And then Tony from In Control at the time, he was playing as when they started, he was playing guitar for fun because it was to play guitar in a band. And Jamie, the guitarist of Fields of Fire, was playing drums. But pretty soon, they're like, actually, this band it has potential to be really good. So let's stop fucking around and toss Jamie back on guitar and toss Tony on drums and let's fucking rage. So the first iteration of that band was like that, and the timing was good because the scene was pretty good. 0203 was kind of like the prime of Ojai.
Yeah, fertile ground.
Yeah, so like they're able to play and they did some good shows. And then when they kicked Fred out of the band, they got I was hoping they would actually go heavier and stay kind of on that kick, like weirder, Sabbathy but blasty. And they actually went a full left turn. They got this dude Jimmy, who I believe is from Cleveland, maybe from Pittsburgh, somewhere out there, and came in as like a full-on punk vocalist. And the song stripped down to like punk, but influenced like old rock and roll, like like raw or like Thin Lizzy type stuff. Also, Graham, of course, never stops practicing.
He's
so like
amazing.
He keeps
guitarist.
getting better and better. The riffs are getting insane, even as just like you're stripping it down to more punk, but his riffs are insane. His soloing is insane. Chris Grande is really coming to his own playing bass. He's turned into like, if you want to say like from a bass player to a bassist, it's like right around this time. Like he's really like writing bass lines, and Tony's still in the band, and he's perfect for this style. He can do like the close hi-hat drivey really good. He can play like a really good loose style. So that Annihilation Time 2 is what a lot of people consider the classic Annihilation Time record. I actually prefer the third one the most. I think it's their best record. Just maybe it's the production. The second one, I I believe they recorded it in Europe, and I believe they may have been under the influence of a lot of drugs at the time, which may be why the quality, might have not been all the way up to snuff. And the third one just sounds great, and it's still like that Annihilation Time. I absolutely love it, and I love the journey the guys went on to after that, because moving out of that decade, they go on to do Lecherous Gaze, which they still do, and it's awesome. So these guys are notable in
They all moved to Australia?
No, just Graham lives in Australia.
Crazy.
So I think they still do Lecherous Gaze. They put out a record like last year or the year before.
It's so good.
Yeah, so good. And that album art is ridiculous. It's like next level shit. And then and Chris is in a million bands. And all are good because, Chris is a music junkie, and if he has a stamp on something, it's going to be good. So that's what I got for Annihilation Time. What do you guys got?
I just got like Mike and I were talking about this as we were walking up, like how the first record, just how it starts. It's just like bass, drivey bass, just, and then it goes into. I think they sound more like that My War era Black Flag
On the first record.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ray Pettibone did the artwork.
I love that artwork.
It's Ray Pettibone.
Yeah.
For Black Flag.
It's fucking rad.
Forrest.
Sorry.
It was so I got in. So I met Fred, I think after Annihilation Time. Obviously, yeah, after he was part of Annihilation Time. I actually did merch for him at Sound and Fury for the Power of Expression.
Okay.
And yep.
Micah gave me this shirt.
And
More good radio. Short shirts.
And yeah, it's cool to listen back on it and hear Fred, because I feel like Fred is like pretty kind of reserved.
You gave me this shirt.
Oh, that's a sick shirt.
And it's cool to hear him like come alive. He has a good energy on that record.
On that record, what I thought was really cool is Annihilation Time played at Sound and Fury in Santa Barbara, and I just thought them playing in general was really cool, and everyone was really excited to see them. And then Fred got up there and played a few songs.
Yeah.
Cool. After he was out of the band,
Yeah.
he went and did a couple songs.
Yeah.
Super cool. Cool.
All I have to say is I felt bummed that Fred was kicked out of yet another band. That was fucking amazing. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Cancel Christmas.
The legacy lives on, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first record. I mean, he's on the first one, so
It's recorded. It's in it.
yeah, it's recorded history. First one recorded with Nick Jett from Terror.
No way.
Yeah,
Shit.
it's one of the first albums that he did, I believe.
That's awesome.
So
That is awesome.
yeah, just a little fun fact for y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got?
We
Who's
got
that?
Santa Barbara Hardcore Downpresser.
I chose this path that I'm unsure of what I see. It gets worse every day. I know it's not me, and you've got a solution. I can guess what it will be. Oh, you're so clever. I disagree. It's fantasy. I don't have what it takes, 'cause I can fuck someone over and know my way.
Yo, the goats.
The GOAT.
The Riff Goats of the 805.
Straight up.
After, it's funny that we compare him to RKL a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because like RKL, Santa Barbara-ish, Riff Goats of the 80s.
For sure.
And then of the 2000s, Downpress are coming through in a completely different style.
It's like they almost invented tremolo picking at this
The Riff
point.
Masters, yeah. They're wild songwriting.
Yeah.
Not until the album that they put out in December of 19, like all the songs before that, they're just like no structure, just like
That's why they're good.
part to part to part to part, but having like a flow that makes sense. It's not like they're just nonsensically putting parts together.
Right.
So it has an ebb and a flow.
Sean and Dan definitely vibe. I know other members have come and gone over the years. Kale's currently their drummer, and he slays.
Yeah.
But yeah, Perverted Justice was badass. Age of Ignorance.
Well, like just back to the demo. Like the demo was out
That's true.
after all their name changes. The demo was something that we played nonstop. Brass Monkey demo. whatever you want to call it. Don't be a menace. But I remember how excited we were for Perverted Justice to come out. Like that was like the buzz in our group. And when that record hit, we were like, holy shit. And that was on Todd's label. I think it was on Street Cleaner.
It was.
Yep. Street Cleaner #1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do the second album on Triple B, which is now one of the biggest labels in hardcore.
Yeah.
True.
But 10 years ago,
Yeah.
it just goes to show. I mean, Triple B had good taste back then, and they were able to curate something really special
Fun
over the last 10 years.
Speaking of Triple B, fun fact, there was a band around this time, it's like 05, 06, called Lace Up, and that was members of like All Is Fleeting, and like dudes from Rayleigh, like Ben was in that band, and Benji played drums, and they were a really, really good hardcore band, and Triple B wanted to sign them and do their first record, but it never worked out.
What happened?
I don't know.
Did they? What did the band end up doing? Did they just kind of broke up?
There's two versions of All Is Fleeting. That should be noted.
Sure. Yeah.
There's All Is Fleeting.
The original singer of All Is Fleeting.
With the original singer, his name's Kyle.
Yeah.
And then Tim Riley, who fronts Souvenirs, was the
two
second
different.
singer. There was two generations, but Jason, I'm blanking on his last name,
Yeah.
was in both versions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And he kind of was the one that kept the band going into that second generation. But the first one, oh no, sorry, I apologize. You're talking about Lace Up.
Yeah.
And I'm
I was
vibing
just,
on all
yeah,
three.
I was just talking about
Yeah.
they shared members, but Lace Up.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, Lace Up
Potential
was badass.
first.
They have a song that has like every single guest vocal from like local bands in the area, and it is so tight.
It's
Like
so good.
everyone sings a line, and it was on their MySpace, and I remember just vibing.
MySpace hardcore. This is like pretty much the beginning of streamable music online.
Yeah, it's around that era.
Yeah.
That's what MySpace did? They had like a little player, so you add a playlist.
Yeah,
or
you
whatever?
add
I don't
like
remember.
you could add whole albums, I think, towards the end, but it was mostly like here's sample tracks, and then
You
Three
pick and
songs or
choose,
something,
and you
I
make
think.
them downloadable. So
Yeah.
like, that's kind of around this era, 2005, 2006. You're just kind of like picking your playlist, and we would just burn CDs and just share them or throw them on the iPod real quick. And I hardly ever had complete albums because I was broke,
yeah,
and I just re-downloaded.
That's cool.
all that shit.
Yeah, but I mean that's voluntary, right? Bands are putting up their stuff, and
For sure.
you're downloading off that.
Yeah,
Super cool.
yeah.
Anything else on Downpresser?
I just fucking love that band. I've seen that band more than any other hardcore band.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like
It's still great.
still so good.
Like their last album, I think, might be the best thing they ever did.
for sure.
You know,
those riffs
it's-
are unreal.
It's amazing, the production quality and everything, and that artwork. Jesus Christ! So Downpresser is still killing it. So
Hood's vibes.
you know, a band that we've talked about a lot of the other bands that No Motive and Mr. 23rd doing strong in the '90s and then strong into the aughts. You know, this is Downpresser going hard in the late 2000s and then smashing it the whole next decade.
Yeah.
And now going strong into the whatever we want to call these, like
20s, yeah.
the 2020s.
Yeah, I don't know. Roaring 20s.
What are they called now? What is this?
The 20s?
The 20s.
It's just the 20s, huh?
Yeah.
Weird.
Just reset. The
Weird.
odometer reset, dude.
Yeah. But that's Downpresser.
They've always been a party, man. They've always
Every
been
time.
like, and oh yeah, we should mention that they released a split sometime.
The
in
Creature
this-
split.
Yeah, I don't remember if that's in 2010s, but they have
No,
No, it's earlier for sure.
yeah.
they have what's noted as the intro. And,
The heaviest intro
and
written
it is
in the last.
fucking scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. 09.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and that song it's. I'm scared to be in the room. when it happens.
Doug. Every time I'm like, oh, we're going to the pit for this one.
They also have a big group of friends that rolls with them.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's always a party when they play, whether or not you're just having fun beating each other up or singing along together.
Yeah. They were always that heavy sing along band, so I always thought that was really cool. But,
Fun dudes.
Yeah.
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 All right, we're back, and it's another story time before us. So we'll just let you kick it off, bud.
Okay, so
if anybody's listened to any of the story times before, you may have heard my Mel Gibson story.
It was the last episode of Talking Nardcore.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't listen to the show. So, so I'm just kidding. So when we left the studio, my girlfriend Angie's like, "Oh, so you told blah 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 part, right?" I'm like, "Oh shit, I fucking didn't." And I remember, like, I think I called you right after.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh fuck, I forgot that." I don't know how I forgot this part because it is my favorite part, but okay, so here's the thing. Anybody who listened to that story, Mel Gibson hates me, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But around this time that this was happening, and this part of the story, I'm like 90% positive about, but I can't be absolutely sure. So around this time, South Park was starting out, and all these big celebrities wanted to do voices on South Park. So, like, whenever a big celebrity would do it, they'd make him do something stupid. Like, George Clooney was the voice of Sparky the gay dog. Like, they basically went to George Clooney's house and made him go, arf, 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 arf. Like, that was all George Clooney did, right? So, Mel Gibson wanted to do a voice. And there was an episode where it's like that guy, I forget his character's name, but he's like genetically altered these turkeys to take over the town or some shit. Okay. And Mel Gibson was the voice of the turkeys gobbling. It's like, that was fucking what Mel Gibson did. But they came to his house and had him record the gobbles. And this is around the time that all that shit was going down. And I know, just from talking to other people who were living there at the time, that Mel Gibson was talking all kinds of fucking shit about me. I'm the fucking security guard that doesn't give a fuck. Anybody can just fucking go right past him, like blah, 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 blah. So anyway, yeah, they go out there, they record him doing the gobbles. So fast forward 20 fucking years. They come out with an episode, The Passion of the Jew, where it was Stan and Kyle go to see The Passion of the Christ. And they thought it was a 3-hour-long snuff film, so they wanted their money back. So they go to Malibu to get their money back from Mel Gibson. There's this little part. If you blink, you'll miss it. They're walking up to Mel Gibson's house for no fucking reason, randomly, no reason. In the background is a security guard sitting in a guard shack reading a magazine that doesn't pay any fucking attention to them as they're walking by and talking. Like, they're just talking to each other. They don't even look at the security guard. He doesn't pay any fucking attention to them. They just walk past and go to Mel Gibson's house. All I'm saying is I'm 90% positive that Mel Gibson's hatred for me got me parodied on South Park.
So good. For sure, right?
So there's that.
That was great.
So, okay.
That was just the warm up.
Yeah.
So,
A little
your
addendum.
time in Hollywood.
okay, so speaking of like just random Hollywood stories, okay, here's my one big Hollywood party that I was invited to. And so a long time ago, I mean, Joe knows, I used to do a lot of work just doing like extra work in movies and stuff like that. I worked for this company. It's Cinex and Central Casting. Central Casting you've probably heard of. Cinex is part of Central Casting, but what it is, if you're union, if you're SAG, that's Central. If you're non-union, you're Cinex. So like basically it's the same companies, but one's union, one's non-union. Anyway, this is like a big deal because like people will do this shit for years and never get, you need 3 SAG vouchers to buy into the union to become a SAG member. I got 7 vouchers from one fucking movie. I worked on this movie for 7 days. It was called The Replacement Killers, and it had Miro Sorvino and Chow Yun-fat. Anyway, I worked on this movie for like a week, and I randomly got to like. Okay, first of all, just a little life hack for anybody fucking listening to this. Total life hack. I've worked on like sets of movies and stuff, and I also just used to randomly do like work in Malibu. The craft service trucks. You don't have a badge. If you're driving through Malibu and you see somebody filming a fucking movie, Walk in like you own the place. Go to the fucking craft service truck and order a fucking meal. They'll give it to you, and you can eat and leave. I used to do that shit all the time, like when going to work. Like, they don't know who the fuck's working on the film.
Of course.
You know, so if you see a craft service truck, but if you're working union, you have to get fed the same shit that they get fed, right? So, like, the craft service truck had, like, filet mignon and lobster tail and, like, stuffed crab and, like, all this shit. But, yeah, if you see one of those trucks, just walk in. Like, life hack number 2, don't act like an asshole. Just fucking walk in. Just, you know, like nothing. Go up and just order your food, and they'll give it to you, and you eat for free, and you leave. Anyway, so there's one day we went to lunch, and they would have us little people take our lunch break an hour before the main actors and stuff did. And for some reason, I don't know what happened, but there was like literally shit got mixed up to where there's me and this other extra that would hang out together and have lunch. And him and I are hanging out at our own table. And then all of a sudden, here comes Chow Yun-Fat, Mira Sorvino, and John Woo. Just come and sit at our table with us. So we're just like, hey, like at first, like should we go? But like we hung out and talked to them. It was like kind of cool. And anyway, long story short, I talked to these people a little bit, but I was there for the last day of filming. And at the time, I guess Mira Sorvino was still dating, God damn it, Quentin Tarantino. She was still dating Quentin Tarantino. He was throwing an Oscar party in Beverly Hills. He rented a house in Beverly Hills. It was just a party where they were showing the Oscars, and a bunch of people were going to come hang out. I got an invitation to go to this fucking Oscar party that Quentin Tarantino was throwing in Beverly Hills. So I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm like going to a Hollywood fucking party, right, in Beverly Hills. So finished work in LA, fucking jetted home as fast as possible, actually changed into a nice suit and shit. Went and headed right back to fucking Beverly Hills. Go to this house. I swear, like on this hill, you're on the side of a hill in Beverly Hills, and all these people are just kind of parked on the side of the road. And the cops pull through, right as I'm pulling up, and he's telling people, like, you can't park on the street in Beverly Hills, which I guess is a thing. You can't park on the street. And all these rich motherfuckers, like, I don't care. Give me a fucking ticket. I don't fucking care. Fuck you, right?
Yeah.
And like, no, there's a parking area down at the end of the street. You guys can go park down there, but you cannot park on the street in Beverly Hills. Like, fuck you. I don't fucking care. I got the money. Give me a fucking ticket, right? And like, I grew up in Oxnard, right? And I knew the look in that cop's eye. And I literally was just like, hey guys, why don't we all go to the parking structure and I'll like shuttle you guys back and forth. I don't care. You know, let's all go. I'll give you guys a ride. No, fuck that. Fuck that. He wants to give me a ticket. He can give me a fucking ticket. So I was like, God damn it. So I go down to the parking area, walk back, which is probably less than a quarter of a mile, but it felt like 5 miles. I'm like, I know what's going to fucking happen. I walk up the hill, get to the fucking house. Lights are fucking blaring. The cops are already there breaking the fucking party up. That was my Hollywood party story. I never made it in the fucking door.
Thank you, Forrest. All right, let's get back to talking about the Reflections comp.
Let's get into it.
Get it. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Come on. It's too late now, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Let's hear it, Joe.
So, Joe, you're at school.
You're
a student.
I'm in school, yeah. I'm back in school. I'm an old man in school.
Hey, no shame. Let's go.
No. It's all good. But so I'm sitting in class and I'm wearing this two towers Nardcore hat that I have.
Yeah.
And this guy sits next to me and says, "Oh, cool hat, Nardcore. I know all those dudes." I'm just like, "Oh, cool."
You know all of them except for episode 1. Fool? What?
It's like, how do you? I know all those dudes. Like,
It's a lot of.
There's a lot of.
That's a lot of.
That's
That's a lot
what
of
I'm
dudes.
saying. It's like, okay, fine. I'm okay with not being known or recognized. There's no big deal to that to me. But you know, all of them. I don't know all of them.
No.
Yeah, so I just thought that was funny, and I texted these guys while I was sitting in class.
So good.
You passed him a note during class and he said, "The fucking legend."
Yeah, you're all fucking episode 1, fool.
Just said check out episode 1.
Yeah. I know. Can you listen to podcasts?
Hey, you should check out episode 1. Of what?
Of what?
Something else like that happened once to me. I don't know if I should tell that.
Yeah, you
fuck
should.
You should.
So this is 2003, 4, and I'm at the sewer, the Sensui, and I'm there with John.
A bar in downtown Ventura, across from the Ventura Theater.
Directly across the street from the Ventura Theater. I'm there
Classy
with,
joint.
with Burning John Winstead, the other guitar singer in Burning Dog. And he and I are just hanging out, and he disappears with some girl, and like, okay, well, I guess I'm sitting in a bar by myself, the straight edge guy. But this girl sits down, she's like, starts talking to me, and everything's, like hitting it off or whatever. And she tells me she wants to get a tattoo, a Nardcore tattoo, but she's all, but those guys have all those rules and stuff.
Gotta get jumped in, dog.
I'm all, they have rules, and so what are you talking about? What guys? She's like, all those Nardcore guys, they got rules. You can't get a tattoo unless you know somebody or something. Oh, okay.
You know me now.
Right? Do you know who you're sitting next to? The future episode 1. I'll vouch for your tattoo, babe.
Yeah, she never got one.
She's got an episode 1 tramp stamp.
Yeah.
Nice lady stamp.
Yeah. So
yeah.
that's it.
Moving on to